taught downstairs in this building because Bowen Hall was being renovated. So I think with Aaron's gift, it's clear that was the best class you've ever had.
Certainly the longest, right?
Certainly the longest, yes. And Jerry does, and Eddie touched on this, Jerry does have a lot of unique experience. Some of you may not know, Jerry was a naval officer in Vietnam, the war many of us like to try to forget. He served the nation honorably, had great impact on the air pollution we have in our, here I go forgetting the name of it now.
Clean Air Act.
The Clean Air Act, yeah, with the Environmental Protection Agency. Retired senior executive service, so he brought to this university really not just knowledge from books, but knowledge of how you lead people and run organizations that way. He's been involved in city government, and he's done a lot of service. Graduate coordinator, he served on the Starkville Planning and Zoning Commission. Clearly faculty senate, we count that as service, not necessarily a sentence, although it may be hard to distinguish some of that. He's been a great friend to me personally. I've known Jerry. He's been both a professor and a mentor. He's been a colleague, and he's been a friend. And he had the unique ability to keep all of those separated. I think probably being your longest PhD student ever.
The longest serving, what's the word I'm looking for here, matriculation in the history of Mississippi State.
I always try to separate.
We'll achieve that.
But Jerry had this unique ability. He never allowed our friendship to get in the way of that professor and mentor relationship. And when I needed to be told what I was doing wrong, he did not hesitate to tell me what I was doing wrong. As a professor, he had very high expectations. He also had great patience, and he was a consummate professional in how he did everything, always willing to help and always learning. I can't tell you the number of times I went to his office and he had one of the great courses on his computer trying to learn something, and I asked him about, at his age he was trying to refresh himself on differential equations not long ago because there was a problem he thought in public policy that could benefit from the use of differential equations. As a mentor, he's given me a lot of advice, both from my university career and naval career. When I was down, he gave me pep talks. When I was up, he gave me talks to bring me down. And always was willing to chew me out when I needed. And as a colleague, he and I presented several papers at conferences, and I think probably the greatest impact you and I had together was reflected in what Aaron said, and people like Daniel in that engineering and public policy course that we created and taught for so long. And as a friend, I've already talked to Abby, the hours we spent in your office talking about children and grandchildren and all the other things. I appreciate and value that time. We're going to miss you because you do have some very unique characteristics that are lacking in lots of areas, not only at the university but in life. And one is your ability to think strategically, to see the end when most people can hardly see the next step. You've been able to see where we were going. A registered professional engineer in the Department of Political Science and Public Administration. That has got to be unique in the nation. And for some of you, he's a charity auctioneer. I don't know what we're going to do without Jerry to serve as an auctioneer at charity events around here. Participates in triathletes, and one of the greatest honors I had was after all Jerry did for me was I got to play a very small part. I just wrote one letter, but it was his career that allowed him to be named as fellow of the American Institute of City Planners. And I think we talked about the statistics, and that's something like 1 or maybe 0.5% of their members are actually named fellow. And Eddie mentioned his 5-time winning the Graduate Teaching Award, but Jerry's also a Fulbright specialist, traveled to Cambodia to help them out, and well as author and co-editor of 3 books. So Jerry, I know you're going to retire. I don't want to see it. I know you'll keep doing good things, but I do want to make sure you leave here knowing you've left an impact on many of us as individuals, on this department and on this university. And I hope you enjoy the chair, but there's no way you can ever be repaid for all you've done for many of us. So congratulations, and enjoy your time with Donna and your family.